Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary, has announced today that there's going to be a full public inquiry into the Axel Rudakabana case, the whole of the Southport horror, really. There's going to be two phases. Now, I'm just going to tell you what the two phases are, but then I'm going to suggest that there ought to be a third phase, but they're definitely never going to see a third phase over this case. But the first phase is to examine the attack itself and the events that led up to the attack, the historic evidence prior to the attack and so forth, and also to fully explain what went on, the timeline, that sort of thing. So there's going to be this investigation into Axel Rudakabana himself, his family, how he came here, things that have happened to him since coming here, and so forth. It's going to, she says, thoroughly investigate all circumstances around Rudakabana's vicious attack. This is on that little Taylor Swift themed a dance party in Southport. Now, the first phase, I say, will focus around issues around him and the history, but it will also look at the policing, the criminal justice system, and all the multiple agencies that were involved prior and subsequent to Rudakabana, especially given the, I suppose, astonishing revelation that he'd been referred to the government's Prevent scheme on 3 occasions. But all 3 cases were closed, one without even an investigation. This is the problem. Because it's unhelpful for them. They're desperate. The problem with Prevent is when you look at the people who are being reported, it's predominantly not white people. That's just the fact of it. And it's very difficult for them because they keep investigating people who aren't white. And so they're trying now to desperately find people on the far right, white people on the far right, so that you can even up the numbers. And of course, when Axel comes up and he's like this young black man who's now a Muslim, it's like, oh God, no, we can't keep doing this. It's looking really bad. It's looking as though this country's filled with people just like this. And so basically they're trying to palm them off. They had no idea this would happen. But they bloody well should have, because that's their goddamn job. Anyway, Home Office documents published today have revealed that MI5, Counter-Terrorism Police, Merseyside Police, NHS England, Lancashire County Council, and the Department of Health and Social Care and the Department of Education will all be questioned because they were all involved at some stage with this murderer. Now, there is a second phase which will examine the wider issue of young people being drawn into extreme violence. Well, I think we know the answer to that one. It can be put down predominantly to, well, you know exactly what it can be put down to. I don't want to say because I don't want to go to jail. But Yvette Cooper has confirmed that this man was referred to the government's counter-terrorism screen 3 times. I say she's confirmed that. And said that the brutal murder of 3 young girls, Bibi, Elsie and Alice, in Southport was an unimaginable tragedy. Well, here's the thing. It can't be unimaginable if the guy that did it was referred to Prevent 3 times. You can't be using words like unimaginable, you know, especially as we've seen the Manchester Arena bombing. We know what's imaginable. When someone is referred 3 times to Prevent, and Prevent do sweet FA, then it's time to get rid of Prevent and bring in harsher investigations, maybe off-site interrogation. Let's maybe pick these people up and drop them somewhere well outside of Britain's jurisdiction. We need our own sort of Guantanamo Bay where questions can be asked vigorously and kept continually being asked until the answers are provided. That's what the Americans do, and nobody really cares, you know. Anyway, she said that the Southport inquiry will provide insights into any failings that allowed a young man with a previous history of violence to commit this horrendous attack. They say, oh, questions will be asked, we will learn lessons, and all the usual bullshit that they come up with that nobody ever pays any attention to. Anyway, she's getting to Adrian Fulford. He is going to be leading this inquiry, and he's agreed to chair that. But they're going to be looking at other information such as the London bombings, the IRA, MI5, the war in Gaza, school massacres, Libya, Muammar Gaddafi. They're going to take a review into Britain's counter-terrorism prevent programme, and they're going to look at all the details there, which is very odd that they're getting all the counter-terrorism lot in, because weren't the government right at the beginning going, oh, it's not terrorism, it's not terror-related, even though there was all that terrorist stuff, weapons of mass destruction, terrorist manuals and things like that. Oh, no. And that, of course, is why I'm surprised it's only 2 phases and not 3 phases, because that third phase is the most important phase of all. Why did the government, right at the beginning, cover everything up, remain silent, not tell the truth? Why did it leave a vacuum that was filled with speculation that would never have happened had the government been forthcoming? Had the government not lied about being a little Welsh choir boy, but told the truth that he was a black Muslim, not a little Welsh choir boy? And when people told the truth and went to jail for telling the truth, why are they now still in jail for telling the truth? And it's all the fault of the government. And that's the problem. And that's where the inquiry absolutely needs to look. The government's handling of this entire case, because it was the government that got this so wrong. And all those riots were a result of government mishandling. If anyone needs to be at the heart of this inquiry, it's Keir Starmer himself. He was making these decisions. And if he wasn't, what the hell is the point of having him as Prime Minister? Many people have asked that for many reasons. But, ultimately, he's responsible. This vacuum of information, because he thought, we daren't tell the truth. Oh, it's problematic. He's a black man and he's a Muslim. And he's killing little white girls. And that's the panic stations that went through the whole of Keir Starmer's mind, because he couldn't face the truth. And he didn't think we, the nation, would accept the truth. And look what happens. And that's got to be at the heart of the inquiry. But you guarantee it won't be. Part of the review that they're looking at is where they found that Rudy Cabana had been researching school shootings, had been talking about stabbing people, had seen the terrorist attack on the Manchester Arena as a good thing. And this is all coming out in the paperwork from Prevent. So they knew this. The security services knew this. The probe found enough evidence for Prevent officers to refer Rudy Cabana to the next stage of the scheme, which is called Channel, which aims to divert individuals from radicalism. But they decided that it wasn't necessary. Well, just take everyone involved in that Prevent program, bring them to the the graves of the 3 little girls, and make them stand there. And make them stand there for an hour in silence. And then fire them. Thanks very much. Bye.